How's it going, everybody? It is IceBear Gaming here. I'm here to talk about the new Forsaken DLC that's coming up on September 4th, and I kind of wanted to give my little thoughts and opinions about the DLC, what I'm thinking so far, and some of my wish list things that I would like to see in the game. Doesn't mean that they will be put into the game, but it's just my little wish list. I hope you enjoy. So we got a new game mode called Gambit, which is a PvE/PvP style game mode where 4 other guardians are put in 2 different arenas and they have to summon a very powerful boss to defeat to be able to win the round. It looks like a really good game mode, and I'm really excited, looking forward to it, because as much as I love PvE and I somewhat like PvP, this would be a very good game mode that I would like to see in the new Forsaken DLC, because one, it's going to be its own game mode, it's going to be outside of strikes and PvP, so it's just going to be its own little game mode and its own little screen. It sounds like it's going to be there forever. It's like a permanent addition to the game. It's not like there's going to be like a time thing, kind of like how Curse of Osiris was, or Iron Banner is, so I'm looking forward to that in that sort of sense. The new weapon system that we're going to be getting into the game is pretty much making it back to where Destiny 1 is and Destiny 2 is, and putting them together in a blender and mixing them together to where you get to choose how you want to play. Do you want to play it like Destiny 2? Go ahead, play it like that. If you want to play it like Destiny 1, play it like that. Or the example that they used, if you want to use 3 shotguns, you can do that as well. And if you want to run 3 snipers, you can do that too. If you want to run nothing but, well, you can run nothing but fusion rifles, maybe. We haven't seen fusion rifles in the primary slot yet, but it doesn't mean that they probably won't do that as well. If they already have a sniper in the primary slot, doesn't mean that they probably wouldn't put fusion rifles in there as well. We'll just have to wait and see how the new game is and how they're going to be balancing the ammo, because they were saying that if we end up doing that, we're going to have to do a lot of ammo changes and yada yada yada. So we'll have to see what happens whenever the Forsaken DLC comes out. As far as Crucible changes, I know that there's going to be something coming out in July, which is the Solstice of Heroes, I think is what it is. And I don't know if they're changing I know they're changing it to where it's 6v6 in casual quick play, and they're making everything else 4v4, which is Rumble and the competitive game mode, which is completely fine, but I don't know if they're changing the time to kill in that, or if they're changing the time to kill in the September expansion. I would have to get back to you on that one, or if you want, you can take a little look at for yourself. But I know they're changing the time to kill, and I'm very happy for that. I'm tired of the team shotting. I've been kind of expressing my concerns about it. I did discuss a little bit of my concerns in my review video I did a couple days ago, but I'm very looking forward to see what these changes are as far as Crucible goes. Another thing I would like to say is I kind of hope that they make it to where it's its own directory system with Crucible, instead of it being quick play playing across all different modes. I hate that kind of style, because if you're not a particular fan of like one game mode, like for me, it's Supremacy. I don't like Supremacy all that much because of the team shotting and everything like that. It's my least favorite game mode. But it could be something different for you guys that you probably don't like, either Control, Clash, Supremacy, or whatever the case may be. I feel like they need to go back to Destiny 1 system and allow us to choose, hey, I'd rather play Clash, I'd rather play Control, I'd rather play Supremacy, or bring back some old favorites like Rift. I never played it all that much. I played it a little bit, but it wasn't my favorite game mode, but I've seen people like it and play it. I'm not judging people who like the game mode, but it's not my cup of tea. But I wouldn't mind them bringing back that system, because I'm tired of seeing quick play. I would like to be able to know what match I'm going to get into and play it my way. I feel like I should have more control of what I want to be able to play. Bungie dropped a new trailer earlier this week about Cayde 6 dying. A lot of the community people, I talked to some of my friends about it, they're not happy that Cayde might be dead. But whenever the developers were talking about it, whenever they showed the new trailer at E3 this week, they were saying he might be dead. He looks dead. It doesn't necessarily mean that he might be dead yet. Like, there's a lot of variables, like who are they going to have to replace him, who are they going to have as the new hunter mentor or whatever. There's a lot of variables, so I don't feel like he's going to die. He may come back as Cayde 7 or just revive him and still be Cayde 6. We don't know yet for sure, but my idea is he might not be dead. We may have to go through and try and revive him, because think of it like this. If we were able to bring Sagira's Ghost Shell back and repair that, I have a feeling that we can probably repair Cade 6's ghost and he'd be resurrected. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I really don't want to see Cade 6 go. He's been with me since, back whenever I started playing Destiny, right around when House of Wolves dropped, and I really don't want to see him go. He's been here for about 4 years of my life playing Destiny, and, we'll see how things go in the new Forsaken DLC. We have a new raid lair coming into the new Forsaken DLC called the Dreaming City, which is supposedly supposed to change every time you go in. It's going to be different from week 1 to week 3, as the developers are claiming. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm getting tired of just seeing the Leviathan rare. All they did with that raid is just recycle it 3 different times throughout both the DLCs and the base game. The base game, it was fine, but recycling it 2 more times, it's a little ridiculous, and I'm tired of seeing it. I want to see something new. Like they're saying, the new raid layer is going to be like, imagine if Vault of Glass and the Dreadnought had a baby, and you put it on the doorstep of some person, like they said. And that sounds like a really cool concept. As much as I didn't really like the fall of the Taken King deal, the raid. Like, I liked it. It was really cool, but it was mostly mechanics based, and if you screwed up just a little bit, you had to wipe. And that was the only thing that bothered me about the raid for the Taken King. I still like it. It's one of my favorite raids. It's up there with the other ones. All the raids that they released are my favorite. But specifically the Taken King DLC, it was for me. Some people liked it, some people hated it, but for me, it was alright for me. And I can't wait to see the new raid lair. I'm really curious to see how they do it, and I hope the raid team really puts a really good job into this, and I'm crossing my fingers for that one as well, because I would love to play the raid. I have not really touched upon any of the raids in Destiny so far, so I would like to be able to see, I would like to be able to go into the raid before this Destiny 2 is all done and out. The Forsaken DLC will be taking us back to the Reef, even though I feel like it should have been there in the base game. I feel like all the planets should have been there in the base game instead of us having to pay back and start from scratch all over again and give us like these weird planets like Titan and Io and Nessus. We still have Earth, but we can't go back to the Cosmodrome. I would love to see that in like a, higher remastered form or something like that, but, I guess you can take what you can get, but hopefully we might be going back to those planets at some point. The Reef looks really cool. They're trying to make it seem more like a dusty rogueland, gunslinger sort of thing, like the Wild West kind of feels what they're trying to portray it as, which ain't a bad thing. And I have something in my wish list that kind of portrays to this in a little bit, so I'll be talking about it a little bit there. But I'm really excited to see how the new area is going to be. I'm hoping it's really big. I hope we can go and explore a lot of areas, and I guess we'll see what happens here in the September release. One of the other things I was looking forward to the most out of this Forsaken DLC as well is the 9 new supers across all the subclasses. Now, what the developers were also saying along the lines were that they're going to be alternate skill trees in all the subclasses. I'm mostly looking forward to, as much as I don't use it as much, I'm actually looking forward to the new Arc Warlock that can shoot straight arc beam right out of his hand. It looks super cool, and a lot of the other ones look really cool as well, like how the Night Stalker can get twin daggers and how the Fire Warlock can actually get a big ass hammer and fling it around and slam it on the ground and create a fire tornado. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the new supers. I'm ready to try them all out, and I'll see which one's really good and which ones aren't so good, but I'm looking forward to the Night Stalker, a nice PvP alternative, because as much as the bow is really good in PvP to shut down other supers, it's nice to actually have something where you can get up close and personal as well. So I'm also looking forward to the new supers, and I'm really hoping that they're all really, really good. My only concerns for the new release for the September expansion is it's $10 more, if I'm not mistaken. Quote me if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments, but if I remember correctly, the Taken King DLC was only, what, $29.99, and if you didn't have any of the expansions, you had to pay like $10-15 for them. No, I think it was like $20 for them. But either way, this is a lot more expensive than what it was in the past. They bumped it up by $10, and that's not including the tax that you're going to have to pay whenever you get the DLC, or if you pre-ordered it now ahead of time if you're really looking forward to this expansion. But my only problem is it's $40 for the expansion, and if you want all this extra content, which they have this thing called the annual pass, which is going to cover you for pretty much the entire year, and that's another $30. So if you want the Forsaken DLC and the annual pass, that's going to be $70 plus tax. And if you want the deluxe edition, you have to pay $80 plus tax. So I feel like this should be a lot more cheaper. I feel like this should be right around the Taken King expansion and cut us back on some of the prices, because a lot of the players left. If you want people to come back, show that you're actually trying, cut down on the prices, all right? Like, I know you're a business, you have to make money, you have to be able to get these players back to be able to, you know, make it fun for people again. But if you really want the people to come back, show that you're actually changing. Don't bump the prices up on the new DLC and the annual pass, or if you want the deluxe edition, which I know a lot of people are going to buy because of all the exclusive content that comes with it, which is the new ghost shell and a new bow, which I highly doubt any of them are going to be worth it in the end. It's just going to be dumb. There's no point. But I guess we'll see let's hope and pray that this expansion is worth it. If not, everybody's just going to quit, and I think I'm going to be in that boat too. I love Destiny. I didn't get into the hype of Destiny 1 back whenever it first launched, and I joined in right around the House of the Wolves drop. And I enjoyed it ever since then. I liked the Taken King. I liked the April update they did when they brought back the Prisons of Elders and made the Challenge of Elders. I liked everything about Destiny, and I love the classes, and I love the lore, and I love everything about it. But the only problem is, with Destiny 2 launch and after the honeymoon state, everybody left. Over 1 million players left, and including me and most of my friends and most of the clan mates that I had in there as well, a lot of people left, and Bungie needs to get their act together. If they really want players to come back and enjoy their game like they used to, they need to show that they need to change. That's just my 2 cents about that whole situation and ordeal. Some of the things on the wish list, I have like a little wish list category right here, and it's only a couple right now. I could probably think of more, but I kind of wanted to get this video out because, you know, it would be something interesting to talk about, and I would love to see your thoughts in the comments. But someone posted on Twitter towards Bungie saying, hey, since this is going to be like, you know, an old sort of Western kind of feel, are you going to bring back any of some of the older exotics like Hawkmoon, Last Word, and Thorn? Which I would love to see them come back. They may be able to tune Thorn now, since there's like a whole different meta going on right now. I feel like Thorn wouldn't be a bad thing to bring back, and we don't know if they will or not. I wouldn't mind seeing Hawkmoon or Last Word come back. That would be pretty appropriate for this expansion, since it's kind of giving off that Western vibe. But I guess we'll see what happens. Whenever it gets closer to time, maybe we'll get like a leak list of what all exotics will be incorporated into the game. Another thing I have on my wish list is I would love to see private matches for Gambit. Imagine if you got you and 7 other friends in a game of Gambit. I feel like that would be a very good party mode. Something where you and your friends can get in and have a little bit of fun and trash talk each other, saying you suck ass and all this other things. And I would love to see that as like its own, like if there's a private match for it. I'm hoping Bungie does it, because I feel like I could do a lot of good streams out of that, and I might be able to get some of my friends to do like a recording session or maybe a live stream with me if we can get that whole thing together, if they incorporate private matches. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping to see some fan favorite exotics to come back. I don't know what all they'll probably bring back. I have a feeling, since it's going to probably be a darker tone, I have a feeling they probably might bring back Hawkmoon and Last Ward, and maybe Thorn. We'll see what happens there, but maybe they might bring back Bad Juju. They may bring back anything that's really a darker tone to the story, but we'll see. I'm kind of hoping they throw in a lot of cool new exotics. They have a new exotic bow, which is a whole new system that they're going to be adding, which it has close range, medium range, and long range bows. I know that there is an exotic bow in the secondary slot, so I'm guessing that's more into the medium range category. They have a little perk on it where it does like a chain lightning effect if you hit all 3 precision shots with the 3 arrows that you get with the bow. But I guess we'll see what happens whenever that comes out. So I'm really excited for some fan favorite exotics to come back and some newer exotics, but I'm also looking forward to the bow. I forgot to write that down, but yeah, I'm really excited about the bow as well. As far as the new loot, you know how they're bringing back the whole new random rolls. They're bringing that back. I'm kind of hoping that they have a whole bunch of new weapons to be able to incorporate with these random rolls. Since they're not bringing back, they're not putting random rolls on year 1 weapons or anything like that, or probably any year 1 exotics, because exotics are kind of lacking in like the perk category because you can't put investment or time into them. I wish they would have different ballistic options and all that instead of just the fixed rolls that they have, which I'm fine with the fixed rolls, but I wish we had more option to give it either more range or more stability, something like that, instead of just like the 3 to 5 perks that they have going across the exotics. So we'll see what happens there. Another thing that I added with this one is exotic bounties. Back in year 1, after you turned in a certain amount of bounties to the bounty tracker, you had a chance to get a Vanguard missive, which allowed you to go after an exotic bounty, and that was a really cool option. It gave you either Thorn, Invective, Bad Juju, Super Good Advice, Pocket Infinity, just to name off a few. I feel like there might be more in there, and I just can't remember them off the top of my head, but those were some of the ones that you could get. And I feel like if they're going to bring back bounties, which they said in their patch notes for the July patch that they're going to be doing with the Crucible changes and the Solstice of Heroes, that they're going to be bringing back bounties. So I'm kind of hoping that they do incorporate exotic bounties and some more things for us to chase after to give us a little bit more to do until the September expansion releases. But overall, this is just my thoughts and opinions. Leave your thoughts and opinions and what you think of the DLC so far in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did. Press the bell to get notifications on whether I may be going live or posting a new video. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.